Kristin and I are in New York City this week. We came for the B&H Depth of Field conference, and we had a lot of ideas planned as far as videos we were going to make and content we were going to create. I brought the FX9 along with us, and it was my intention to do a vlog of our New York City trip, as well as filming a bunch of other videos. Right now I'm vlogging on the FX9, which is like the dumbest thing to do in probably the whole world. And
you got it there.
What? No, I don't know where to go with it from there. Kristin, on the other hand, brought this camera with her that she bought on eBay. This is the Canon AE1 film camera. So she was going to shoot 35mm film for the first time, and I was really excited to see how she was going to do with that. Speaking of Canon stuff, I had also recently purchased this lens. This is the Canon 85mm f1.2 FD lens. As you know, I love shooting with vintage lenses on these Sony cameras, so I was very excited to test this out, but also excited to see what Kristin could do shooting 35mm film with a lens that was intended for the Canon FD system. Throughout the trip, there were a lot of issues, namely it being rainy. I didn't want to take the FX9 out in the rain so much, and I was just having issues with the concept of doing a vlog in general. In the past, I've done vlogs for the YouTube channel. In 2018, we went to the B&H Depth of Field conference and I did a vlog and I was very happy with it. But I started to become a little bit disillusioned with that process just because my passion on this channel is about making videos and being creative. So when I'm doing a vlog, it's not so much about making a video or being creative. The video itself is what I'm making. It's almost up to me to just be entertaining for you guys. And based on my personality, I'm just finding that it kind of makes me stressed to do that. So I've been looking for another outlet to be creative and make videos about traveling and about our experiences, documenting those things. And I saw how much fun Kristin was having shooting with her AE1, so we decided to go to a camera shop and we picked this thing up.
The most versatile Canon ever, the computerized Canon A1.
Canon camera and Canon lenses.
If you're shooting for pro quality, put a Canon on your Canon.
You try, John. Me? Sure.
This is the Canon A1. So it's very similar to Kristin's camera. It has a few extra features, but I was taking the jump and deciding to shoot film for the first time, which is very interesting for me personally, just because I've always felt that there are things people say, people who shoot film, they say it makes them more intentional, the process is very enjoyable, and in the past I've thought that that's somewhat cliched just because shooting digital has a lot of advantages, and I was very happy shooting digital. And in general, I'm not much of a photographer. I care much more about video than photography, but throughout the week, I really enjoyed shooting film. It really was true, everything people were saying about it, and I just really enjoyed the process. I also enjoyed the fact that the camera body didn't matter so much. It was more about the different film stocks you were shooting on, whereas with a digital camera, you're kind of confined to the constraints of the sensor you're shooting on. Basically with film, a lot of the characteristics come from the film you shoot on, the dynamic range, the colors, etc. So it was very interesting shooting on a few different film stocks, and the process of getting the film processed and getting the scans in was really exciting. I was very excited to see if everything was completely messed up or if we were going to turn out getting something really great. It's just a really, really fun process I'm finding. The first roll of film I shot was CineStill 50D. This film is kind of designed to shoot landscapes. It's 50 ISO, which is great for shooting in daylight. Unfortunately, the day I was shooting this film, it was very cloudy and it kind of spilled into the nighttime. I also shot the CineStill 800T film, and I really, really liked the look of this film. Both of these film stocks are supposed to emulate Kodak motion picture film, which is really fascinating. Some of the way that the film is processed gives it these interesting artifacts in the images, these red aberrations around bright lights. But really my favorite film stock that I ended up shooting was Kodak Portra 400. This seems to be the best mix of colors, dynamic range that I tested on the trip, and I'm really excited about the images from the first roll of Portra that I shot. Okay, so we're in New York City. It's our last day here. We've been shooting all week. It's been kind of rainy, but today the sun is finally out, so we are going to run through a roll of Portra 400 in Central Park. Here we go. So the camera we're shooting on is the Canon A1. What's really nice is right now I've got the 35mm f2.8 lens, but we've also got the 85mm f1.2 FD-L lens, which is going to be really nice to take some portraits here. So it's a little difficult to make this look interesting because all the foliage is dead. So I have switched to the 85mm 1.2 and we're just like finding little bits of foliage that's still alive. The other cool thing about this camera is that it has a aperture priority mode and the meter on it is much better than the AE1. It's been very nice to have the sunlight out for once during one of these because to this point it was very cloudy. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're back on the 85mm f1.2. To this point, we haven't shot at 1.2, so I just want to take a test shot while we're in the shade to show you guys just how shallow the depth of field is and how the photos look on the Canon A1 with this lens. We definitely, actually with the optical viewfinder is not that difficult to grab focus. Okay, so I wanted to take a couple photos on top of this big rock, so let's do that. All right, this is a pretty nice view up here. We're gonna have to stop down a bit. F11, that looks good. Bing. What do you think's been the best place we've eaten here so far, Kristin? La Lanterna, that's a really good one. La Esquina is really good. Some New York Mexican food. It's kind of an interesting combo. So moments ago, when I was up on the rock, we weren't filming, but I took a little spill and fell on my butt. It was kind of embarrassing. Kristin was trying to take a picture of me and this guy was like, is he okay? We are looking at F8 right here. It's interesting, something I think would look really cool on this setup is a fast wide-angle lens, like a 24 f1.4, but those are kind of rare. I mean, especially on the Canon FD system, they made an L lens that was a 24 1.4, but those go for like $1,000. So yeah, the L lens is the red ring, it ain't cheap. Be jogging with the cathedral in the background. Ooh, that's a good one. Getting your settings with this camera is very simple because I have the lens on auto aperture, so the camera is deciding on the aperture. The camera is in aperture priority mode. So basically, I'm just changing the aperture dial right here and the camera's telling me in the meter what shutter speed they're going to use. So then also I've got the Portra 400 rated at 200. I've seen a few other people do that, so hopefully we get a little bit more detail in the shadows and we can bring back a lot of the highlights. Kristin and I are actually here for the B&H Depth of Field conference. It's like a 2-day photography type thing. We actually went back in 2018. Okay, so you're looking at vlog mode on the FX9. Really impractical, inefficient setup, but it's kind of fun. Kristin's putting on her boots, and we're gonna take some portraits here by this Alice in Wonderland sculpture, and we're gonna show off the portrait ability of these two lenses and these two cameras. So let let me know if that was interesting to you guys, if you'd be interested to see more kind of vlog style videos about this. Personally, I think it is kind of entertaining and interesting to see the process develop, and it's a lot more interesting than me just going out and doing a vlog about whatever I'm doing, just because I don't know that my personality really holds everybody's attention the whole video. But yeah, anyways, let me know in the comments if you have any questions, any thoughts, and I will see you in the next video.